Leeds 1, Everton nil. Match reaction. You would think for such a low-scoring game and such a boring game that there would be not a lot to talk about, but I've got a few points that I want to go over. Before we start, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Try and get 1k subs. 4-year anniversary tomorrow, if you guys didn't realise. So I'm going to try and stream and do some stuff for you tomorrow. But anyway, into the match reaction. That game, we were woeful. And if there is not a sign to Moyes, if there wasn't a sign before to Moyes that we need signings, if today wasn't one, then we're not signing anyone else. Because Jake O'Brien's not a right back. He's not a Premier League footballer, really. He's too passive, and he's not good enough for the ball at his feet. And then Carlos Alcaraz is not a right winger. But then when he went for the middle, he slipped and ended up giving away a pen, which we'll get onto later. There was too many errors. Moyes, for a starter, I don't know what the setup was. I get the idea that we don't have a fit left back or right back. Fair enough. We have to adapt. But Jimmy Garner at left back, was that really the best we could do? I probably would have preferred a youngster at that point. Because Jimmy Garner's not a left back. It's the fun fact, it's the only position on the pitch he's not actually played, except for goalkeeper. So, was that really the best idea we could have done? And then Jacob Brown at right back, I mean, it was expected. It's where he played at the back end or the second half of last season, so I'm not surprised. But we've had now 2 months in the window to sign a right back, to sign a right winger, to sign these players, to fill in these gaps in our team. And we just didn't. And I don't know why, because it was common knowledge to everyone. Not even just us Everton fans, not even just the board, not even just the management, to everyone in the footballing world. Everton Football Club needs a right back and it needs a right wing. We filled in on some of the gaps, like striker, we got a new cam, we got a new left wing, we got a new midfielder, a new left back. But then half of them didn't do anything or didn't play long enough today. But we'll get into the team and the players in a minute. There was too many problems. Moyes, why have we gone to Ellen Road, newly promoted Leeds, and gone and played for a 0-0? That is probably the worst idea I could have come up with from today's game before going into it. Never on the opening day do you go to a newly promoted team and try to play for the 0-0 when you're already an established team. Especially Ellen Road. Turf Moor, maybe you can get away with it. Middlesbrough 8 years ago or something, maybe you could have got away with it. But Ellen Road, that's like going to the Stadium of Light and playing for the 0-0 like West Ham did. It's basic knowledge. You don't do that. You have to push them back. And don't get me wrong, Ellen Road is one of the hardest places to go in the league. And every team will struggle there, no matter how poor their starting 11 is, because I actually don't think that starting 11 was too poor without the Welsh bias of Joe Rodon, Ampadu and Dan James starting. There was you can't go to Ellen Road and play for the 0-0. That was one of the problems that I think we had today. Second problem is we were lazy. We didn't go for the first ball, we didn't go for the second ball, we didn't go for the third ball, we didn't even go for the fourth ball. We just let Leeds have it and then went, fine, break us down. And they did struggle to break us down. Okay, fair enough. Keane and Tarkowski had decent games. But then when we got it, like a Dyche game, we would then just hit them. And I'm not saying Dyche was needed today, because Dyche was not needed. We would have had the same result with or without Dyche. But you then need to pick the ball up and just go. Don't hold back. Go. Rush up the pitch. It doesn't matter positions. You just run. No positions, no thought, unless you have the ball at your feet. Make chaos. Spread the defence out. They've got Joe Rodon, a championship defender. They've got Omar Bogle at right back. He's not exactly world class. They've got a left back who was playing his first ever Premier League game today. And we had Iliman Ndiaye, who was one of the best dribblers in the league last season, who looked completely off it. And we had Charlie Alcaraz, who wasn't exactly that bad at the end of last season. Those two should have been able to cause the havoc on their own out on the wing, but they didn't. It was simple stuff we failed to. We failed at the basics, and that's my third issue. We failed at the basics. We couldn't pass, we couldn't create, we couldn't cross, we couldn't shoot. And that was down to us at the end of the day. There's not very much more I can say on that because it's the basics. You know the basics, I know the basics. We didn't do them. The fifth problem was injuries. We had no fullbacks. And I've said this earlier. We don't have fullbacks. Okay, we know that. Mikhalenko's injured. He was touch and go for the game. Damn, he's fit next week. It is what it is. As new, picked up an injury against Roma. That is just unlucky. Both our left backs have gotten injured in the same game. Right back, on the other hand, is inexcusable because we've known that Coleman is no longer able to play football. He's more just been extended his contract to be the leader to learn now coaching. Patterson, we have known for the last 2 seasons, is not good enough. The management have known that. We've known that. He is simply not good enough for the Premier League. We haven't tried to loan him out, and that's our fault. But then, we've known this and still not signed a right back. Okay, were we unlucky with Kenny Tete? Probably, but that was 2 months ago. We've had time to now go and sign that right back, but instead we have focused on other positions, which are needed, but no more than right back. I thought we would go into the first game of the season and definitely a new right back would be at the football club. But no, we haven't learned. Coleman, we've needed to replace him since 2020. Oh, since Neil Taylor decided to snap his leg in 4 places. Since then, we have needed a right back, but instead we've put up the likes of Cuco Martina, John Joe Kenny, and Jabal Sidibe. The best out of those is Sidibe. Doesn't that tell you everything on how much we needed a right back? And yet, Seamus Coleman, Ashley Young would have done today, and he can't even start for Ipswich in the Championship. Jesus. Players time, because there's too much to go over. I could be here for an hour, but honestly, I don't feel like standing up for an hour. So player ratings as we always get to. Pickford, nothing could have done about the penalty. Went the right way. Brilliant penalty by Nameka. Fair enough. I'm going to give Pickford an 8. 7 actually. Distribution wasn't great, but his shot stopping was fine, and he could have done much more for any of the goals, or for the goal. Garner, I actually thought for being a makeshift left back, he wasn't that bad. I'd give him a 5. He's out of position, and he's not left-footed, so we couldn't really expect much more from him. Keane, I'm going to give a 7. Tarkowski, 7. Neither of them really did anything wrong throughout the game, and that reminds me of the penalty. How is it a penalty? Okay, the handball rule, we all know it at this point. If it's kind of made up along the way. Your arm, if it's in an unnatural position that the referees decide, then it's a penalty. Okay. What is an unnatural position? Because the officials have been arguing all season and all of last season, and ever since they brought VAR in, that an unnatural position is your arm up here, out from the body, wherever you want to dance it about. They've said a natural position for slide tackling, for blocking, for anything, is inward. It's tucked in. It's got to be literally against your chest. Which, for anyone that has played football in your life, as a defender, as a goalkeeper, as a midfielder, as an attacker, you know that is not the natural position for slide tackling, for blocking, because it's basic science to know that your arm controls your movement in a way. If I go sliding for a tackle, I know that my arm is more than likely going to be stuck out somewhere, because that is where your arm goes when you go for a slide tackle. You're balancing your body. Blocking is the exact same. Your arm 9 times out of 10 does stick out a bit, because you're positioning your body, you're making sure you don't get hurt. But okay, if your arm is then out here, dancing all about, and it hits here while it's flying to the goal. Fair enough, that's a penalty. We can't argue much. They've made this rule up where it has been a natural position, and arguably, yes, if your hand's out here, you are blocking the ball from going on for a shot on goal. But Tarkowski's arm is here. It is tucked in. It is not here. It is not dancing all about. It is here. It is tucked in. It's even going behind him as the bit hit him. So, how is it a penalty? Where should his arm be according to the referees? That's what I want to hear the officials say, why it is a penalty and where his arm should be. No more of this apologies and being like, we're sorry we got it wrong. What did whoever the referee was today and VAR, I think it was like Simon Hooper and whoever the on-pitch ref was. Why did they both think that this was not the correct position? After PGMOL for the last 2 seasons have been crying out that the right position is tucked in. So why now when it's tucked in is it all of a sudden, nope, doesn't matter because the goal was on? Tell me. Tell us, Everton fans, don't just come out and be, we're sorry, we got it wrong, we'll change. No, we won't. Because they haven't. But that's enough for the penalty. Jacob Bryan, 3. Woeful. Don't want to see him next week. I'd rather Roman Dixon or Seamus Coleman or anyone. I'd rather Garner at right back. And I've just moaned about Garner at left back. Idrissa Gueye, one of the worst performances he's put in an Everton shirt. 2. He was somehow worse than Jacob Bryan. Gave the ball away, couldn't pass, couldn't intercept, couldn't do anything. Who started? Timur Ogbonna actually had a decent game. 6. Didn't really do much going forward, but defensively was good. They got caught out sometimes though. Illy, 5. Again, one of the worst 4. One of the worst performances he's put in an Everton shirt. Alcaraz, 3, was woeful. Dewsbury Hall, 4, was woeful. Beto, 3, was woeful. Grealish, I'm going to get onto in a second, 5. He didn't really get a chance to do much. And then finally, Barry came on way too late. I'm not even going to give him a rating because he didn't get the chance to do anything. Give him a 6 then because it's average. Moyes, 3. He got it completely wrong today. Completely wrong. And I feel bad because we didn't have the fullbacks. But he is our technical director. He's doing all the transfers. He's our manager. It was up to him to get us a right back by this point of the season or a right wing. Grealish now to end off. He didn't have the chance to do much. And I accept that. What more could he have really done today? My problem I've had with Grealish today is it looked like the Man City Grealish. He picked the ball up and you're thinking, right, Villa, I want to see the Aston Villa Grealish. Go on, take your man on and just create something. Be magical. Bungles there. I'll go backwards. No, we need you to go forward with it, Grealish, because that's what you're here to do now. You're not a Pep Guardiola system. Get that out of your head. Enjoy your football. Go forward with it. Please, be magical. Be what we want you to be. And yeah, as I said at the start of the video, we'll be live tomorrow. We're going to do a decently long stream, hopefully, because it is the 4-year anniversary. Way! Started with a video, it's ending with a stream. Well, it's not ending with a stream, but it's 4 year with a stream. Hit that like button, subscribe like I asked you to really, please. It would be very appreciated. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with the stream. And goodbye and goodbye.